Injustice everywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. The tragic suicide of Kurt Cobain hurt all of us. He is still missed and remembered. If there is anybody who is affected mostly by this suicide, it is his beloved wife, Courtney Love. Even though there was speculations that they were not getting on well those days. The videos taken by in the home by Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love shows the opposite. And unfortunately, it was too so obvious that Kurt was always able to commit a suicide actually. The terrible and unreliable theories which my colleague had just listed to Discord had already been disproved years ago. However, this tribunal showed that it must be done again to end the question marks in people's minds. Kurt Cobain was not having problem with Francis or Courtney, his problem was with the fame and his own mind. Your Honor, before starting to prove the claims, I would like to state that my client has always been hated by the fans of Cobain, and it still continues. This rumor or murder is just a reflection of this hate. I would like to begin with the suicide letter. The prosecution attorney claims that last lines of the note was added after the crime. However, that is impossible. Tom Grant, who was started these rumors, was hired to find Cobain by Courtney Love because Courtney wouldn't reach Kurt Cobain for several days after he ran out of the rehabilitation center. And considering that he took a lot of drugs and suicide is an emotional fact, the writing at the end can be different from the beginning, but it is proved that it was still his handwriting. Forensic experts report that the mood of his handwriting, which was showing that it was a lot of blue feeling. Secondly, the note was found in Cobain's wallet was written as a cute and memorial joke by Courtney Love to Kurt Cobain. It wasn't written by Kurt Cobain. And it was written in 1991. The the tragic death of Kurt Cobain was in 1994. Handwriting in the note is compared and it is proved that it is written by Courtney Love. And my client also stated that it belongs to her. The claim that Courtney offered money to kill Cobain is just a bullshit, I'm sorry. It is never proved that it was stated by the director of the documentary that he thought Cobain committed a suicide. My client had serious issues with his own father. That is the reason her father gave a speech saying that my client was responsible about this murder. The drug that was found in Cobain's body was very high. I accept that. However, it wasn't high enough for Cobain. It is well known that Cobain was suffering from drug addiction, which was the reason he went to the rehabilitation center in California. He was so addicted that this amount of heroin won't affect him as much as normal people. Also, it must be stated that Kurt Cobain has two uncles committed suicide with guns, and in his songs he was mentioning to kill himself. He first committed a suicide in Rome. After a month, unfortunately, he made it again, and this time he was successful. His bandmates and Courtney and close friends always mentioned that he was not handling with fame, success, and his responsibilities. Your Honor, Kurt Cobain was deeply in love with his wife, and they had a happy family. Kurt was having issues in his mind. He had suffered a lot since he was unaccepted by his own divorced family. He was fearing to handle that much pressure and fame. He couldn't take it anymore. He was having problems on his own. My client was the only person who was able to express himself However, he couldn't make it anymore. He saw the only way to exit is to end his own life, and he did it. Courtney Love had a huge depression after his death. He lost her best friend and her family. It is madness in these circumstances to accuse her from the death of her own husband. I am begging this court to end the injustice witch hunt as soon as possible and have a consequence.